And we are
How you doing,
also
Instagram? We're live
streaming
on
on all
Instagram.
the other platforms as well. So say
Awesome.
hello
Looking
to
forward to serving you
everywhere.
guys. We're back on the Power, Purpose, and Passion podcast after a couple hard and challenging and character building weeks. We are back, and I'm ready to serve greater than ever with greater precision and greater gratitude and greater life power to serve you with greater depth after having gone through what I've gone through. So let's do this, and we're ready to step back in the realm of the 9 steps to improving your relationships. Let's do it.
Alrighty, episode starting in 3, 2, 1.
Leaders and healers from around the globe, from around the universe, welcome to the Power, Purpose, and Passion podcast. I am your host, Anthony Cheam, welcoming you live at about 12:20 p.m. on Eastern Standard Time. We usually do this show at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I'm having with what's going on for the past couple of weeks in my personal life. I had a few personal challenges with the loss of my wife's Nana and my loss of my mom in a sudden shocking death. But having to go through that, I'm having to kind of shift things around my life because I'm one of the executors on my mom's will. I'm having to scourge it through all these things and book all these appointments. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your flexibility. Thank you for all your support. I am your host, Anthony Cheam, welcoming you, speaker, author, coach, life coach, trainer, love bug to the world, just wanting to spread as much goodness to the world. This is a show where we help you claim your power, clarify your purpose, and cultivate your deepest and widest and innermost drives and desires so you can ultimately show up as the best version of yourself, helping ultimately to help other people be the best version of themselves. And this week, we're right back on schedule to continue the process of 9 steps to improve your relationships. And we are on step number 6. And we are welcoming you back live with Cameron Dubé, my partner here, along with Danish and Farah in the backgrounds, doing the mathematical genius stuff in the background. So thank you. What's going on, Cam?
Not too much. Obviously, during this time, we've been sort of taking a step back, strategizing, writing everything down, and figuring out our action plan while we, take this little time, especially for you. I'm really glad you took the time to relax and stuff like that. Yeah, we're doing really well. We're very excited, especially for Christmas. Can't wait for Christmas. I can't stop thinking about Christmas.
3 months away, man. Tomorrow. Exactly.
3 months.
I was actually having a conversation with my 2 kids about, hey, tomorrow let's write Santa Claus some letters for 3 months. Give him 90 days.
Well, then you got 90 days to be a better person for Santa Claus.
You got
right?
it. You got it. 90 days to better improving your Christmas experience.
All right. So it's crazy how we had this big sort of block in the middle of this relationship thing. It was supposed to be done last Friday. But everything happens for a reason. And we're back with step 6. If you want to recap it all, I mean, it's all on Spotify and iTunes, and it's on YouTube as well. It's on Overcast, Google Play. It's on a ton of places. And you can go watch the other steps or listen to the other steps depending on the platform. So today's step is step 6, and it's about power words. Or the power of words, or whatever it might be. It's all you.
Well, you know what? I have to say, I encourage people out there that are listening to this podcast. And number one, first, let me back up for a second. I've actually had a lot of people who listen to this podcast reach out and say, please, Anthony, don't leave us. And not knowing what I'm going through, or knowing what I'm going through, despite what you're going through, continue on to serve. Because, 2 days prior to my mom's death, she was walking towards my sister's work, even feeling sick, having had a stroke, a left knee replacement, having been diagnosed with this bullous pemphigoid with this crazy blisters on her body. She despite having those personal challenges and feeling sick physically, she was able to walk 4 kilometers and a left knee surgery too, a replacement, walk to my sister's place, give food, and then walk back. That's 8 kilometers for a 74-year-old woman with all those challenges. That's pretty amazing. She was able to just literally step aside herself, her own pain, and focusing on serving others. So that's what my mom would want. And I'm here to serve you at greater depths, greater levels, and here to help you upgrade to the most fascinating and beautiful life as humanly possible through this podcast and beyond. So thank you for joining us again. And step 6 is power words. And we are here to talk about the power of words. And this is one of my favorite subjects because ever since I was a kid, I used to have a stuttering and stammering, and I never read a lot of books. I didn't have a strong vocabulary. And interestingly enough, the power of words, they did a study, and it was sort of indirectly, they discovered the more limited your vocabulary, there's a greater chance for bad behavior. So if you have a small level of words that you use on a daily basis and you can't express yourself verbally, you're going to express yourself kinesthetically through your fists, through your muscles, through your physiology. And they've also studied the greater vocabulary that you possess, the less inclination you have towards bad behavior, because you're able to express yourself through words. But one of the things I'm going to tell you right now, when it comes to words, one of the greatest and best friends that you could actually download on your phone or your iPad or your computer is the dictionary.com app. I get a free word every day, every morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, that says, here's the word of the day. Now, I might like it and I might not. If it's something that intrigues me, then I'll read the definition. Sometimes I'll use it. Sometimes I won't. The point is, you learn a word a week for the next 52 weeks. That's 52 words that you could use in your vocabulary, which expands your experience, expands your emotions, expands your confidence, expands your esteem for yourself and your ability to communicate through words. You know, when it comes to communication and when it comes to relationships and building strong relationships, let's face it, words play the least amount of factor when it comes to influencing human behavior. I think it's like 7 to 12%. And the next one is tonality, the ways in which you, the intensity through which you use your words, which is like around, I think 30 to 35%. And the highest obviously is body language. But what if you decided to combine the words you say with the intensity through which you say it, along with your physiology? You combined words with intensity and tonality with physiology, and it has a strong impact on human behavior, not just on yourself, but on the people you're communicating your message to. So whether it be your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, girlfriend, mother, father, son, daughter, your best friend, coworker, boss, employees, it does not matter. The words you say, coupled with your physiology, the presence of your body and the strength of your body, along with the tonality of the words you're using, it has extraordinary levels of power to influence people. So it's one thing to say, hey man, I love you. And it's another thing to say, hey, and look at the person with searing gaze, grab them in the face and say, I want you to know. And as I look you in the face with my physiology and my eyes, I want you to know I love you. You have been such an extraordinary influence in my life and inspiration in my life. I would not be here today without you in my life. Goodbye. Imagine you sent that to somebody on a text, or you sent that to somebody in a voicemail, or imagine you sent that to someone on an email or social media. How do you think their day is going to be like? You say it like that. It's one thing to write it down and say it, but it's another thing to actually call someone. And these days, you know, talking on the phone is this thing of the past nowadays, especially for the millennials. But calling someone up and saying, hey, I was thinking about you the other day, and I just want to let you know, man, my life is completely rich and wealthy because you have lived and breathed in my life. Thank you. Have a good day. Wow. The words, the ways in which you say it, the tonality, and you can imagine the physiology of the person that says it. I remember Jim Rohn actually giving an example of, you know, he says, don't let your flowers do all your talking. Don't let your flowers do all the talking. What do flowers say? He says, it says, you remembered. Oh, or you remembered the anniversary, or you remembered my birthday. What lives on forever isn't the flowers. The flowers are going to die one day, within a week or 2 weeks or whatever it might be. But it's a little card that it's actually in the flowers that when you open it, it says, hey, ... a comma. No one affects me like you do. Love, Anthony. It's those words. It's the tonality through which you say it. It's the physiology that you bring while you're saying it. So communication, again, words, tonality, and physiology. You combine those three. Let me tell you something. And you say it with intensity. You say it with passion. You say it with purity. You say it, you slow down your words. As you notice, as I talk, I speak with power and passion, but sometimes I speak slowly to emphasize a point. And it's the silence too between the communication as you contemplate what I'm saying, which is equally as powerful. So when I became a speaker a number of years ago, I was studying some of the greatest speakers that I admired, the Martin Luther Kings, the Winston Churchills, the Tony Robbins of the world, the Wayne Dyers, Zig Ziglars, Jim Rohns. And I was anything that I could kind of pull from something that resonated with me through a word that they said, a hand gesture, a body language, their facial expression. I was studying them profusely, obsessively, so I could become a communicator of love and power to my family, my friends, and the people that I had influence with and over. So study the ways people talk. Study the ways people, the words they use and how they use it. Like words like integrity, effulgence, ebullience, indefatigable joy, imperturbable love. Things like that. Indelibly, I love you more than words can describe. Little things like that. It's the words. Words are like lights. Words are like lights for our feet that open the pathway. The more you expand your words, the more lights that go off in a room that is dark. And that is so key. That is so profound. It is so elemental in our quest to express ourselves and to deepen our relationships.
Okay, so great information. So obviously the tone of your words, what words you use, and the body language. Is that like the triad of?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay. So if you keep that in mind, how do you know exactly what sort of body language to have, or what words to say, or what tone to have in any given situation? Sometimes it's common sense. Like if you're saying my condolences, you're not going to be like, hey, my condolences, man. I hope everything's okay.
Yeah. You're right. You fit the physiology, the tonality, and the words with the context. So as an example, I've gone through 2 funerals in the past couple of weeks, my Nana and my mother, of course, and the ways through which people were communicating with me were slow, were present, and their intentions were pure. It was my condolences. Sorry for your loss. If you need anything, please do not hesitate to call. We are here for you. And the outpouring of love that came from those words, the tonality, their physiology, their full presence of emotion and love for me and care for me during my time of suffering, and my family, of course, was overwhelming. The outpouring, as I heard one priest say, a friend of mine, Father Ed, he talked about how, it's not about the suffering that's beautiful. It's the love that surrounds the suffering that's beautiful. And one of the ways that people communicate love is through words, through acts of kindness, through their physiology, through their present moment behavior. Oftentimes when I'm coaching couples, I'll talk about the 3 Ps, and it's not power, purpose, passion. It's actually your posture, your purpose, and your, oh my gosh, I'm losing the third, in your presence, sorry, your posture, your presence, and your purpose. So are you giving your physiology, your posture to your loved ones? Are you sitting there on your iPhone while you speak to them? Are you giving them your full presence and your posture and your eyes and the full presence of your body, mind, and spirit? And what is your purpose of giving them your attention? Is your purpose to judge them or criticize them, or to give them your full attention and listen to them deeply? So that's, I can tell you, the more you expand your words, the more you expand your language, the more you're able to communicate power words and power phrases to people, the deeper level of impact you can have on people. In fact, if words can kill people and make people die literally from the inside out by saying, you suck, you're never going anywhere with your life, if they can kill, then words can heal and help and inspire you as well. So, I mean, I often tell people, like, look, there's 2 types of thinking. There's logos, or logical thinking, and 2, mythical or mythos thinking. The logos thinker talks about what's in the left brain, what's rational about the world. And, I heard one guy say, Rob Bell, he's a minister, famous minister in the United States. He talked about how the logos thinker will say something like, will be asked something like, okay, why did you marry your wife? Well, she was 5'7". She had blonde hair. She cooked, she cleaned. She had a waist that was 32 inches. She had a breast size of 34 inches. She had a hip size of 34 inches, and she had a 142 bowling average. Well, that's one way to look at it. But if I were to ask a mythos thinker the same question, why did you marry your wife? This person might say, at some level, when I met her, I was meeting the other half of my soul. Well, to a logos thinker, they might go, where's the evidence of that? Where's the data that backs up that she's the other half of your soul? Even though it may not make sense to the left brain, the logos thinker, to the mythos thinker, there's something deep within you that it makes sense. It's actually more profound than it's literally beyond the truth, or para-truth, or literally it's like meta-truth. When you hear something like that, Rumi, one of the greatest poets of all time, he had this great saying that said, love is the energizing elixir of the universe, the cause and effect of all harmonies. wow. There's a part of you that goes, oh, I don't get it. But there's a part of you that goes, wow, and it screams and goes, wow, that's so true. Or the French poet that said about describing his relationship with his girlfriend or his wife, and he said something along the lines of, she was the focal point of light upon which the totality of things converge. And you go, wow, that's what it feels like to be in love. That is what it feels like to be in love, even though there's no evidence behind it. So use your words to enter into the mythos realm. Use your words to enter in, to have others enter into the mythos realm, even though they may not have physical evidence or the left brain might make sense of it. Well, what I've discovered is people are wanting mythos, meaning, and life and experience more so than just the logos way. Let's go from, how many people out there have actually lived an A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way to Z, a straight line, narrow path in their life. It's not a straight line, narrow path. It's always zigzags and up and down and crazy. What if you look out at nature right now? What in nature is a straight line? There's nothing in nature that's a straight line. Yet it's all chaotic, yet it's in perfect harmony. The trees, the sun, the air we breathe, the earth that we walk on, the water we drink, it's all chaos, and we are beneficiaries of that. So be grateful. And one of the greatest things you can say in terms of words is, number one, I am. And be very careful with how you use those words, I am. If you use I am a loser, or I am depressed, or do you say I am strong, I am love, I am compassionate, I am patient, I am kind, I am wildly in love with you, whatever it might be. The second greatest words you can use on someone is thank you. Thank you. I remember hearing Zig Ziglar say two of the most important phrases you can say to someone is I love you, number one. Number two is that was my mistake. Please forgive me. Those are just words, and the person that said, actions speak louder than words. Well, let me tell you something. Zig Ziglar talks about, that person may not have read the Declaration of Independence or the Lord's Prayer or the 23rd Psalm or any of Rumi's works, or any spiritual sages' works or saints' works. Let me tell you something. When you read a poem that really sucks deeply into your heart, into your soul, and pierces a part of you that's never been touched, let me tell you something. Man, as much as a picture can paint 1,000 words, a one word or phrase can paint 1,000 pictures. So make sure you use your words wisely, effectively, that gives life, not takes it.
All right. That was okay. So sometimes I can't keep up, man. Okay. Yeah, no, that was really good. So man, I feel like this podcast is incredible and people are getting so much value. Like I wish this existed 2 years ago just for myself so that I can listen to it. No, I love that though. That makes a lot of sense. And you bring forth some really good points that I've never heard about communication.
Yes.
So I guess to top the episode off, what would be the step one thing you should do and another thing you should avoid doing? So like a step in the right direction and a step away from the bad direction. Just two things that people can do to take home today.
Well, first off, let me tell you something. This level of inspiration, I don't even know where it's coming from. I think it has to do with a lot about my own pain and deep suffering that I'm going on with inside myself. But out of that suffering, it's coming great joy and inspiration. I don't know where these words are coming from, but love, as I say to people, love and suffering are two dance partners, eternal dance partners, that the deeper suffering that there is, that just, it's revealing where love is needed most. And the love, as Rumi said, something along the lines of, in order to break a heart open, it must be broken. It must be broken. And thank you for telling me that. I just don't know. I take no ownership of this. I just here to serve and affect people deeply. So the first step I would recommend, number one, is be conscious of how you're speaking to yourself. Oftentimes I say to people, what's more important, what I say to you or what you say to yourself? Because you take you everywhere you go. So it's important to I remember hearing one guy say, I like talking to I like self-talk. I like talking to myself because I like to talk to intelligent people. And I like listening to myself talk because I like to listen to intelligent people talk. That's pretty profound. So Come up with a phrase or words that you use to describe yourself, who you wish to become. Brendan Burchard talked about, when I went to one of his seminars a long time ago, he talked about pick 3 words to describe who you want to show up as. And my 3 words at one time were courageous, enthusiastic, and passionate. And write those words down, and in the morning read them and go, how can I show up and be more courageous and passionate, enthusiastic? And then pick 3 words as an example that describe who you want to be when interacting with others. So 3 words to describe who you want to be and show up as daily, and 3 words to describe who you want to be when you're interacting with other people. That alone can transform how you see yourself. And the words you say to yourself, if they impact other people, and how you say it and using your physiology, use them on yourself. One of my favorite, and I've shared this with you, Cam, and a number of other people, one of my favorite phrases, and I'm going to share it with the audience here, is God's wealth, health, wisdom, power, love, and energy circulates in my life. His wealth, health, wisdom, power, love, and energy flows, glows, and surges to me, through me, as me, in avalanches, hurricanes, tidal waves, tornadoes, vortexes, explosions, eruptions, thunderous booms, and lightning bolts of abundance. All my needs, desires, goals, intentions, and dreams are met now instantaneously by infinite intelligence, for I'm one with God, and God is everything. And I repeat that like 50 times a day. And you could imagine how much I'm vibrating, and how much I'm glowing, and how much, what energy I'm emitting and emanating and exuding to the world when I say that. And I say it with power. I say it with truth. I say it with authenticity, to know that when I show up as that and I'm exuding that power, people are noticing that, and I'm attracting that. And it's building upon the purpose and the passions that I have in this world. And the universe around me is transformed through that energy. Jesus used words, simple words. They say upon Jesus. He talked about how, his Sermon on the Mount, is basically, if you read the Sermon on the Mount, it's basically a culmination of all he taught. And it's a couple paragraphs long. So that's the first thing. Get to know yourself through the words you say to yourself. Come up with a power phrase, power words, whatever it is, and repeat them over and over until you literally condition into your body and your mind. And the second thing I would suggest is this. What are some words and phrases you can consistently use on other people, the people that you love most? Some phrases. Maybe today, send 3 people that really mean something to you a text, or better yet, in conjunction with this conversation, call them up, or show up on their doorstep and say, you know what? I just wanted to say, I had 5 minutes. I wanted to come over and just tell you, with your physiology, with your tonality, and your words, and say, I just want to let you know how much you mean to me. And I thought, you know what, and living in this day and age, a phone call, a text is not enough to describe how much you mean to me. So, hey, give them a hug and leave. Wow. Just the impact of that alone can transform people. So those are the 2 things. And I really hope and encourage each and every one of you to expand your communicational skills with the words you say, the tonalities through which you say it. Study yourself, speak power to yourself and to others, and to your continued upgrade and evolution. Live it up with power, purpose, and passion. Subscribe if you like this video. Share it, like it, whatever it is. If it's going to help other people, then do it. I'm not about just, gaining. I'm about sharing. I feel like I wake up in the morning with $1 billion worth of soul dollars, love dollars, and I just want to share. And each and every day it gets filled up through what I'm doing on a daily basis. So please do that. Subscribe, share, like. I don't know. There's like 15 platforms that Cam and the Cheam team is sharing this with. And if this is going to help somebody, then by all means, please share this with the people you love. And God bless you all. I love you all.